Hi everyone, my name is Carly Stratton, and today we're going to be talking about the effects of leadership styles in healthcare. The goal of this PowerPoint is to explore the different types of leadership styles. We will also discuss which approaches are most effective for a healthcare setting and why. The objectives of this PowerPoint are as followed. Define leadership style, explain importance for understanding leadership styles, to outline leadership skills and behaviors necessary to leverage diversity, foster inclusion, ensure professionalism and professional responsibility, examine different leadership styles and discuss advantages and challenges for each, and explain how leadership styles are impacted by personal, organizational, societal, multicultural, and global norms and values. So we're going to be defining what leadership style means. So according to businessjargons.com, leadership styles are the behavioral patterns that a leader adopts to influence the behavior of his followers. This can have several different meanings depending on the specific motivations of that leader and can either be very effective or very ineffective depending on the implications of such patterns. So leadership style, I'm going to break it down a little bit further. Why is it important for healthcare leaders to understand their leadership styles? Well, to put it pretty simply, when the focus of a leader is put in one place for too long, the performance of the team goes down, and so does the quality of care. The text explains that a highly directive and pace-setting leader may micromanage and focus on goals rather than people, which can lead to demoralized and disengaged teams, which would work negatively in the motivation of other people on the team. Conversely, they continue to say that leaders who are myopic in their attention to relationship building may avoid giving negative feedback, avoid confrontation, and worry so much about the people on their team that they actually lose their ability to objectively evaluate performance, which would hinder the goals and effectiveness of the facility in the aspect of productivity and achievement. So all in all, a leader must be able to evaluate their leadership skills and adjust accordingly so that all aspects and goals surrounding the facility can be met and maintained. This will result in stronger teams that provide better care and positive patient outcomes, which is always the #1 goal for all healthcare providers. Leadership skills and behaviors necessary to leverage diversity, foster inclusion, and ensure professionalism and professional responsibility. So in order to do that, the leader must be able to navigate multiple relationships, be open to new ideas, solve complex problems, and generate innovative and effective solutions. So this all stems from the leader's ability to recognize their faults and adjust accordingly. If leadership is viewed as a learning experience, self-awareness would be a skill that would allow them to create an environment where people of all backgrounds can grow and thrive in. Respect is the basis for all roles in the healthcare setting, and even more so in a leader. A leader creates a culture within a facility, and if that culture is not built upon a foundation of mutual respect, the leader will have failed at leveraging diversity, fostering inclusion, and ensuring professionalism and professional responsibility. Lastly, empathy, or the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, allows the leader to see their subordinates and patients as themselves. When this is achieved, people are all treated fairly, and without an empathetic leader, the team would be unable to thrive, as the leader would not continue to cultivate an environment that does not benefit patient care. Alrighty, so there are two different effective leadership styles in healthcare, one of which is authoritarian and the other is democratic. These two different leadership styles each have their place in the healthcare setting and should be used interchangeably depending on the circumstance. In authoritarian leadership, only the leader is involved in making policies and plans, and this absolutely has its place in healthcare, as there are some roles that cannot allow for interpretation. For example, the individual responsible for OSHA guidelines must be extremely by the book, and the members of the team must understand that the rules put in place by this leader are not up for debate. This is mainly for safety reasons, but can have legal implications as well. In a democratic leadership style, the leader encourages all the employees to accept responsibility. They set goals based on the feelings and experiences of others, and they include the team in all processes. This leadership style is very effective in creating a peaceful work environment and allows members of the team to grow into their positions. So, authoritarian challenges and advantages. So, an authoritarian type of leadership is very traditional as far as a boss role goes. Therefore, it's simple for most employees to understand, and it's typically ingrained in them from childhood. So, authoritarian style leaders exist in parents and teachers, making for a natural transition to the workplace. This type of leadership also focuses heavily on goals and production, which will in turn benefit the facility on the financial front. However, as previously described in the slides, highly directive and pace-setting leaders, such as an authoritarian type, may micromanage and focus on goals rather than people, which can lead to demoralized and disengaged teams. This would discourage initiative and creativity and may result in poor patient outcomes, as we all know and understand that as quality of care decreases, so does employee satisfaction. They go hand in hand. So, a democratic leadership style, challenges and advantages. A democratic leadership style is definitely more people-oriented and includes the members of the team in all processes. This will in turn create an environment that generates success in relationships, employee satisfaction, and it is inclusive to all members of the team. However, as previously mentioned, leaders who are myopic in their attention to relationship building, such as a democratic leader, may avoid giving negative feedback, avoid confrontation, and worry so much about people that they lose their ability to objectively evaluate performance, which would hinder the goals and the effectiveness of the facility and the aspect of productivity and achievement. It's also worth noting that when we delegate the responsibility out to too many members of the team, it may get a little confusing as to who the individuals answer to and who's really responsible for what, and that may result in a lack of production and overall kind of creates a little bit more of a chaotic workspace. And leadership styles are impacted by a bunch of things, but specifically they are impacted by personal, organizational, societal, multicultural, and global norms and values. Who we are and where we come from affects every aspect of our lives, and leadership is no exception. If we were to look at personal norms and values of different types of leaders in the healthcare industry, we would find that it can all be traced back to how they were brought up in their personal lives. The same goes for the environment in which they grew up in. Different organizational skills and values have a lot to do with the way they were raised in their homes as children. The society and cultural backgrounds of individuals also has a lot to do with leadership styles, as different people have different ways of taking command in all different corners of the world. Alrighty, that is it. So we're going to review here. We defined leadership styles. We explained the importance for understanding your specific leadership style. We outlined leadership skills and behaviors that are necessary to leverage diversity, foster inclusion, and ensure professionalism and professional responsibility. We examined different leadership styles, 2 of them. We discussed the advantages and challenges for each of those, and we explained how leadership styles are impacted by personal, organizational, societal, multicultural, and global norms and values. So at this point, we would ask the viewers any questions, but there are no viewers, just us today. So thank you so much.